Beef stew questions. Should you burn my meat on the stovetop or
Under the broiler, what Brits would call a grill.
should you marinate the meat beforehand? Should you season the meat?
No!
The meat cooks in the wine all damn day. That is plenty of time for flavor penetration and all of that. I will season my wine and not my meat. Put that in your meme and smoke it. And what's the best thickener? These are questions I have puzzled my entire life because I'm just that kind of gluttonous dork. Here first is my trash can recipe for the coming comparisons. This is my reference stew. The meat is beef
Meat smells like
cat food,
tastes like feet.
cut into really huge chunks. Gotta remember they're gonna shrink, so if you want thick boys, start double thick.
Thick with 2,000 C's, and I will season it with sugar and pepper, and then coat the pieces lightly in oil.
Seasoned meat goes into the hot oil, burn that meat, pull it out. Veg goes in the same pot, get some color on that and get it burning. A squeeze of tomato, brown that for a second, meat back in, red wine.
No!
White wine a third of the way up, enough salt and pepper for the whole extended family. Stir that around, cover and simmer like half a summer until the meat is overcooked inside.
No!
First test, marinades. I've been known to defend the honor of marinades against you, but I've always been skeptical of marinades. Lots of time-tested cats tell you to soak the raw meat in red cider. Then you
Need to throw this in the fridge
for a year or two. Afterward, it got a very dramatic purple stain on it. Anything that can be purple in my kitchen shall be. Strain, dry off the meat so you can sear it, and it smells horrible and very, very different and very nice. I'm guessing those aromas are from wine compounds trapped in the surface of the meat. The browning of the wine, which sounds like a Bible story, but anyway, the browning of the wine smells horrible but tastes nice. I will say though, I'm having a real hard time judging how much I've burned these. Are they done? Let's go with yes.
No!
The meat is really, really raw.
6.5 hours later.
And that tastes exactly the damn same as the trash can recipe. Next up, let's test seasoning. Should you season the stew meat before you brown it?
No!
I will season my wine and not my meat.
Now, for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to
Test seasoning. This meat I will season with salt before searing off and then stewing. This meat I will not season directly.
Oh hey, this is very, very optional, but as soon as I've seasoned my beef, I'll grab a whole head of garlic and slice off the tippy top, then I'll coat this in my pea, wrap it in foil, and throw it in the oven to slow roast. That's gonna be for
My meat. Simmer both until they're mushy, and here they are, side by side. Is there any difference at all in the final braise?
No!
Any seasoning you sear into the surface is just going to dissolve into the wine, and then over the time you eat it, it's just going to diffuse into your pre-modern peasant teeth, just like it would if you'd seasoned the wine. Indeed, it may be more convenient to braise the meat
Under the broiler, what Brits would call a grill.
instead of in the oven, but does it taste like meat? Some people say it does. This stew I braised at 350 Fahrenheit, 180 C, and it was done like a year sooner than the reference stew I did on the stovetop. It smells like my wife's. Look at all that surface burning you get in the oven, even with the lid on. But the meat is really overcooked inside to my taste. Let's try that again at lower temperature, 2 Fahrenheit, 1 C. That took way longer, about 800 million years to get the tenderness that I want.
While my beef is burning, I can prep my vegetables at a leisurely pace. I've got 8 pounds of carrots. I like to peel them, but you don't have to. I'd suggest big pieces because they look cool, especially when you cut the big. Plus, big pieces are less likely to go mushy. I'm gonna do a couple of stalks of celery today. So good. No! My wife, Lauren, hates celery, so how about some cucumber? A nice mild taste. Won't drown out the subtle taste of my beef. Just tons of fresh, watery crunch. All right, my beef has been in for 400 million years, and it's almost as soft as I want it. I can poke it easily with a fork. Now is a very safe time to put in the vegetables. About another 400 million years, I took my beef out.
There's no surface browning, so it doesn't have those amazing smells, but lordy, that tastes way, way better. I ended up eating that entire sample for science that I'm really, really happy with.
This beef stew. You've got a ton of very fancy food for very, very little money and very little stress because you're not hustling grandma at the table being like, you must eat now before the crepes go mushy or whatever. And then you won't be impressed by me because everybody knows that's the real goal, not like making other people happy or something.
3:28 a.m.
No, I forgot the 20 eggs. Yes, 20.
Gelatin is gelatin, and that gets you a much sexier, glossy look with a smooth and sticky mouthfeel I just love.